Malco Theatres quietly announced that it would soon offer haptic and motion seats in 2 area theaters. In those special seats, moviegoers will get to experience movements, vibrations, and textures synced with what they are seeing on screen. I'm Mary Casciola. Today, the Daily Memphian's arts and culture editor, Elle Perry, is here to talk about this moving development. Elle, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Sorry, I couldn't help the little pun there.
Nice.
Okay, so this is one of the stories that the newsroom has been talking about a lot, so I thought it might be nice to talk about it here too. People
Awesome.
seem to have thoughts.
So this company is based in Canada. They have LA offices as well, but they're working with Malco. They work with other movie companies.
So let's back up first. So what exactly is this technology? What are haptics? I know we hear about haptics on our phone, and I think people have a vague idea that it's it buzzes or something. But what sort of is this technology?
Nice. So I'm glad that Holly worked with me on this story because she was like, I need you to explain it to me really in
Holly
plain terms.
Our digital director.
What is going to happen with these seats?
Yes, what is going to happen with these seats?
So I read a review and they basically described it kind of as like a roller coaster. And keep in mind that it varies. The movie theater chains have a level of customization they can do.
Sure.
So but generally the seats will move, or think about you watching a movie that has a car chase scene and the car is going over grit or sand. You as a person watching it should be able to, through your seat, feel vibrations
Something.
or that matches what you are seeing on screen.
Amazing. I do feel like in some ways we should have always known this was going to happen, right? The technology is there. Similar things have been done in the past. I feel like I have a recollection of something called smell-o-vision.
Yes.
I never was able to experience smell-o-vision myself. But I think that was something that theaters tried, I'm going to say in the 50s or 60s. I don't know, just talking right now. But I assume that part of this is a move to try to get people back into movie theaters.
Yes. So that's not something that has been explicitly stated. I will say during interviews that I've had with folks who have organizations or companies where their goal is to get people into spaces, so like theater, shows,
right,
or music or things like that. People haven't recovered from COVID all the way.
Right.
So
we went home and we never came back out.
Right. It's people now, you have to give them more for them to come out of their comfortable home,
right,
to come to your establishment.
Right. And I can see a movie at my house.
Right.
And pretty much I can see a movie almost as it comes out in the theater at my house.
Right.
So now, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do to bring me out?
Right. There has been, I'm looking at this Pew Research study from that was published. The article is recent, but the study is from 2025. And it's rebounded a lot, but it's still, if you look at the pie chart, not the pie chart, it's a graph, but I just like a pie chart.
Sure.
But it's kind of under half of what it was in 2020, where you had the amount of tickets sold in the U.S. and Canada. So there's still a long way to go.
Right.
People have come back to the theaters and these other establishments, but there's still a big gap from what was before.
Right. It's still pre-pandemic, before pre-pandemic levels. Okay. So when I was reading this story, I was reminded that one time I went to Disney World and we did this Avatar ride. And the Avatar ride was essentially just a big screen, a pair of goggles that you had to wear, and then this thing that it was like a seat, but it sort of looked like the Avatar thing, right? If you're on a horse, bird, flying thing, I kind of remember it looked like that. So we sit on this thing, and then you put your goggles on, and the ride starts, and it's basically just the seat tilting or moving forward, and you're totally immersed, and it was awesome. So I have to say that.
Okay.
But this does sort of remind me of that. So I have to ask, because that was pretty expensive. How much is this going to cost?
Okay, so for the local option, we don't know yet. Malco said they would release more information closer to the rollout, but I went and looked at the Cinemark chain, and so they have the D-Box seats at the Little Rock Theater that they run, and I was comparing, just like for Spider-Man, it was $10 more for the ticket that had the D-Box technology.
Right. But also it's like, is that, like, Spider-Man could be a really cool movie to see with that kind of technology. It does kind of also bring to mind, like, when you now go on an airplane, like, your seat has a different price, which I hope that we don't get to with movies, but it kind of sounds like maybe we do, because if you're in a special D-Box seat, it's going to cost you $10 more or whatever. I guess my question for you at this point is, like, what if you want to go see a movie at the theater and you were like, no way, I do not want to feel this movie in that way? I mean, what are your options?
So, like, I can't speak to what Malco, how they will do it. It's at the Cinemark theater that I looked at. So one of these auditoriums, it wasn't the whole, like, every seat didn't have it. There were, like, yellow seats that had the.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So you could pick, I don't want this seat, or I don't want to sit next to somebody who has one of these seats also. Like, but, like, I don't know if that's, like, the common practice. Maybe I can imagine maybe you would have. In some instances, maybe there's an auditorium that has all the seats set. So you're just like, I don't pick that showing.
Right. It's like an IMAX theater.
Right.
Everyone's in the IMAX.
So, like, I'm not sure, like, how it will look here, like the implementation. But the Cinemark, this specific theater, they had it where, like, because, you know, nowadays you buy a ticket, you pick your seat.
Right.
At the beginning.
Right.
So you just pick, like, oh, I want one of these seats, or no, I don't. Or I would actually want to be, like, way far away from one of these seats.
Right. It does make the technology where now you're like, okay, I'm getting my seat. Where do you want to sit?
Right.
Before you just walk into the theater and you're like, where am I going to sit? Okay.
Right.
But it does make that easier. Okay, so when should we expect to be able to try this out? I'm kind of excited.
So they are by Thanksgiving that all of the auditorium should have it, but Malco has said the installation is starting late September. So the theaters in Memphis that will have it are Paradiso and the Collierville locations. Also, if you're in Arkansas, the Razorback in Fayetteville and Fort Smith, Arkansas. So
do we think, it sounds like maybe this is like a pilot program for them, but also in their, like, flagship theaters.
So it was kind of interesting to me because the word initially was used, which makes me believe that possibly there could be more additional ones. Maybe it depends on the response. If people are really excited about it, that might give them more incentive to be like, hey, we'll do it at more theaters. If maybe people are less enthused about it, maybe they will just say, hey, just got to go to Paradiso or Collierville.
Okay. Well, let's do a fun thought experiment. Let's talk about what movies would we like to see from a D-Box seat. Any thoughts?
We were actually talking about this yesterday in the newsroom because like the Odyssey was mentioned, and somebody was thinking, like, I don't know, that might make me seasick if there's like boat scenes or you know.
Yeah. I've seen the Odyssey, and I was thinking about that as well. And there would be times I wouldn't not want this kind of seat in the Odyssey, but like Spider-Man maybe, or like I don't know, maybe a Fast and the Furious, or like some sort of car chase movie, maybe.
Definitely thinking action, and it feels like, you know, so it is kind of interesting because there are all these different ways that theaters and the companies that work with them are making this experience more immersive. So you have to like Dolby sound, so you're getting a lot of cool audio things. I actually like that. To me, that's like okay, I'll pay for that.
My daughter does not like that. One of them, and when it comes on, she like covers her little ears because I think it creeps her out.
It is a little like, I can imagine like if you're a time traveler and you come back and you would hear the advertisement when they do it, when it comes on, you'd be like, I don't know. I feel like you would be like, no, I don't like that. But I like when I listen to music, I like when they engage it where you can hear it in both ears. Like, when
Oh,
they do
I like that too.
So like,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, no, I like the different audio things. But like, you do have more of these instances where you have more choices. Like, I want to see it in IMAX, or I want my whole screen to be just the movie. Like, give me the biggest screen possible.
Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for doing the story.
Thank you so much.
If you are listening in, we've got more news for you next. And if you are watching the interview on YouTube, we will be back tomorrow. Have a great day.